Hey guys, welcome back. Down here putzing in the garage. We left off with the motor sitting like that. Well, the next step is to get the stator assembly, points assembly said and done. And I've got that over here. I'm going to take all this off and I'm going to clean some stuff up. It's working. I'm going to try to pull these wires out, cut this old sheeting off, and put some heat shrink on it. See if I can't clean that, the way it looks. Mainly it's just the heat shrink that's junk. All this in here would be good, but I'm going to clean all this up, wire wheel it, put the new O-ring on it right here, and put the new shaft seal. So I'm going to work on that, and I'll bring you back later and we'll see what it looks like after. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but it's raining pretty hard out here. It's like 44 degrees. So I got my Dearborns turned on, and we'll bring you back when these look a lot better, and kind of give you a step by step. Okay guys, I got this piece cleaned up. That's as good as it's going to get. It's not going to be seen, so anyway, I pulled all the wires out of the wire connector. But trying to get in the heat shrink, this is a problem. I don't understand this, why they got a bullet connector in the one going to the coil. So I'll just end up probably replacing that, or just cut it, sort it together, and put a piece of heat shrink over it. Slim that down. Those bullet connectors, I mean, it separates, and I still got this one to run. So I got my soldering iron heating up, so we're going to get something done here in a little bit. I cleaned these up the best I could, trying to hit the ends, get those ends cleaned up, get in there with my little moto tool and clean all that, the corners and cracks up. But it's going to take a little bit. It'll be a runner. Was a runner, so anyway, I wish I had new plastics or whatever, so I don't think that I need to heat shrink this down. I might have to. Probably a good idea. And once I can get this where I can slide this through there in that connector, or maybe I could just unsolder it from there, maybe, and just run it back through that way and just cut this back a little bit further back. Probably work. So anyway, catch you later. Alright, it's been a minute. I do have everything put back together. I did unsolder it from the condenser, kind of put everything back in place so I could get, except for that coil. This is your lighting and battery coil right here. So runs the headlight. One side of it is dual wound. So anyway, I just, for the ignition coil, or for the spark plug, I just unsoldered the wire out of it, and pulled it out, shoved it back in this way through the heat shrink, and reattached it. I got my little clamp back in place, my neutral indicator wire. I did take and put a little heat to this, just barely, you know, just enough heat to shrink it down so I could shove it in this boot. I don't have a replacement. I don't know if it's available. I never had to order one because they generally come with a new kit, a Stator kit. So if I probably could have a replacement somewhere, but I didn't want to worry with it. So reuse this one, works fine. I've got it all in position. I put it up on the engine, the assembly, and put this in place so I could, you know, push the heat shrink down in there and work it in, and it's where it should be. So I don't have the oil seal, the shaft seal and the O-ring on it yet, or the O-rings where these screws go in the engine. And I'll end up putting that plug back together, and I'll have it in the engine here in a minute. Okay, I almost forgot something. I wanted to show y'all the seal I'm using. I think I did it in one of the earlier videos, but this is what came from CHP. This, I believe, is a kickstart seal, some other seal. This is the one I'm needing right here for the Stator assembly. So it'll just fit in there nice and easy from the back. There's a right and a wrong way. This side you see here, the way it looks, is to the outside of the engine. This is to the inside. This is a cup side. So like any pressure or whatever hits that area, that little pocket, and it has that spring behind it that helps, you know, keep the rubber down on the shaft. So you don't have to put anything in there, but just push it in. If you want to take like a soft mallet or something and drive that in, or just two hands, it's kind of hard to do with one hand. So once that's in there, it's in there. And the O-ring just goes around there, stretches. Ooh, one-handed. Okay, that's in. So anyway, these small two O-rings go around the screw holes that have a little cutout in the engine. So put a little grease on those, stick them up in the engine so they don't fall out, and reassemble the Stator assembly. So anyway, we'll get that here in just a second. Alright, we're back. I got you set up in the tripod stand, so we need to put the O-rings in here, or that one there and that one there, before we put the Stator cover in. So you want to take and make sure that this seal, I'm just going to lay it down here on top of this rag. It's kind of soft. I'm not going to ruin anything. I'm just going to tap it down with a plastic camping hammer. Just something soft. You don't want to ruin the hell out of it. So anyway, let's grab the O-rings. I just gotta reach over here and grab them. Just put a little grease on your fingers. Do both of them. One little dab of grease. I think these are probably in the Dash series, probably out of 011. I call them 0 series O-rings. You might have a cheap Harbor Freight set of O-rings, which are crap anyway. So the best thing to do is just, you know, if you got a place to get good O-rings, get good O-rings, or you know, if you do a lot of these motors, order a bunch of them or just get them from a seal kit. So typically you just get them from a seal kit because you're redoing a motor. So anyway, let's put this in there. Let me put a little grease on the shaft seal in the shaft itself, so we don't start off dry. I learned this from work. The type of work I do is injection molding, and we do a lot of seals and O-rings and stuff up there. So anyway, I can take and tap just the parts of the stators like that. Just don't hit your windings. Try not to hit your points. If you have to tap it back here in the back, tap it. Get you a pin punch. Just get it started enough. Make sure your screw holes are lined up. And let me get the screws that go in it. Alright. Got your screws. I just got to put my Phillips bit. You just tap, get it started. Put one down here. Don't crank it all the way down without starting the other one. Alright. It's pulling in, it's pulling in. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to try to impact hammer it with that deal. I don't see any need of it. So we got that grommet in place. It's heat shrunk. So that'll reach up into the harness and be all protected right there. Hopefully moisture proof. So there's a little piece of a rubber boot that goes right on that for the neutral indicator. So let me grab that. Okay. So some of it's kind of broken out. I hadn't looked into either if this is something you could find a replacement for, so I don't particularly know which way would be the best to go. I'll just put it like that. Anyway, I think it'd be best to start put the wire for the neutral indicator, put it in the groove, and work this wire. It's, you know, what do you expect? It's stiff, like an old man. Granddad used to say when a young man's all flexible and stuff, he has something that can get really hard, but when an old man gets stiff, the opposite happens. So anyway, maybe you got my point. Granddad's a pretty hilarious person back in the day. Of course, he's no longer with us. So he's the one that actually got me into go-karting and mini biking, and got me my first Trail 70 I had, which was a gold one. It was a 71. So I don't remember what year it was produced, maybe October, November, but I don't have it no more. But anyway, so there's something else I need to do. Oh, back. I need to put the clip or the plastic piece on there, and I got to put my wires back in there the way they went. So I drew it on the wall over there, which way they go. So if you're looking at your clip like this with the opening, and I probably ought to spray that out, but I'm kind of afraid to. But before I try to shove them in there, there's one thing you have to do. There's these little locking prongs there, and if you push them down, they stay down, and you can pull it up out of the clip. So if you go to reinstall them, you just got to go to the back side and just like a pick and push them out. I don't know if that's far enough, but you got to push that back out on every one of them, so when it goes through the plastic piece, it snaps in and stays. So you want to do that before you shove them in, and then they come out. So I've got a green wire. You got your 2 wires for your AC current. And they don't really matter if you get them in the wrong. Well, looking here on the left hand side is your AC current plugs. Let's see. I marked it green and white, and that's going to be the coil, the top right hand right here, and the bottom right hand is going to be for the neutral indicator. So the 2 on the right hand side, those are important to get plugged in correctly. But the left hand side, because if you're just now watching this or haven't watched any previous videos, or maybe Mini Bike Mike up there has talked about it, but the coil in this is dual. Stator coil is dual. How do you say that? It's wound twice. It's got 2 different windings in it. Okay. And every one that I've checked is around half an ohm. Each tap is half an ohm. You ohm it back to ground, where the ground wire comes out. From that, well, the coil windings, both of them, the end of your windings come out and they're joined together with an eyelet. And that eyelet with that enamel wire goes back to ground right here. Okay? And that helps you produce the AC field on 2 different coils. You get the same output on either one of them. So if you put the one that was originally designated to go to the headlight on the battery, fine, leave it. If the one for the battery to the headlight, fine, leave it. Either way, they're the same. They put out the same voltage. They all out the same. Together, checking lead to lead, you're going to get about 1 ohm. So that'll tell you right there. Even the factory ones and the replacement ones, I checked them both. You get the half an ohm together, you would get 1 ohm. This one here just goes straight to the condenser, which I've soldered back in. Tuck the wire back as best I could to stay out of the way from the inside of your point lobe. You'll make sure your wires don't get in any kind of rotating objects, especially in this area and in this area. We've got a limited area to stay safe and secure. And this wire right here too, kind of push it up, keep it out of the way. That's your neutral indicator wire. So we're going to pop these in place. I will put them back in the way I marked them. I'm going to start with the bottom left. And there is a certain way inside of there that the little locking tab pops in. So I'm holding this in an upward position with the latch tab up, and this locking tab on the pin is up. So I'm going to put the white wire in the bottom left. It went in and locked. So now is my green one. It's the top left, which is this one. I hope y'all are seeing me good. So, bam, there it is. Hoop, there it is. And the coil, let's put the neutral indicator. The neutral indicator is the bottom right, looking at it just like this. So, snap goes it. Okay. That one's bent down for some reason. We can straighten it up. The only one we got left is for the ignition coil. It's the top right, looking at you like that. Alright, we got them in. I need to bend that one up. I guess during all my rough housing I bent it. So anyway, that's pretty much it. And I believe that there was about that much of that heat shrink hanging out. If they had all electric tape the thing covered up, but it'll be tucked up in the wiring harness. I mean, the main body. I mean, because you got your frame that bolts here and here, so all this is going to be kind of covered. You got your vent line. I got to put a new vent line on it. So the other one's so petrified it snapped off. So good riddance, too bad rubbish. We don't even really care. So that just goes, you can either go through the hole in the frame or slip it up underneath there like that, out of sight, out of mind. Nobody's gonna know. All this dirty plug, you'll be the only one that knows. So anyway, I'm gonna put the flywheel on. I need to clean the flywheel. I just get over and polish it up, clean it up on a wire wheel, make it shine. I mean, like it makes a difference. But you know, you want all your magnets. You can take sandpaper inside your magnet area and, you know, scuff all that clean. Or if you got like a moto tool, the sanding disc on the end of it, something you can get in and really brighten that up and clean it. If your point lobe needs cleaning, just take something and clean it. Maybe some emery cloth or something. Get the rust off, clean it so it doesn't tear up the. You got a little Bakelite piece that's riveted onto the points, and it rubs on that. So if this point lobe or this area is rough, then you're going to wear that out prematurely. Then your points are not going to open after you set, you know, if you got your point gap set. After time, it's going to wear down and you're not going to open your points. You're going to be grounded out all the time. And you won't have no spark, so then you got to get in there and readjust your points. So just, you know, not a whole lot of lube on there. They're supposed to, this piece right here, I'll probably shoot a little WD-40 on that little what do you call it? It's like a brush. It's a tightly packed, and it goes in between these two. It just gets smashed in there, and it rubs on the point lobe and the point lobe and keeps it clean and lubricated. So I'm gonna have to soak that with a little WD-40 or something, or you know, something to keep it moist. But you know, I got the you see my breath maybe. Put that on there. Golly. Gee, boogers. Did not want to let me put it on there nice and easy. I kind of find it easy just to keep your remover tool, which the kit was like $20 for, had all different sizes in it. Use it as a handle. Put your flywheel on. So anyway, I'm not going to leave it dirty like this. I'm going to, because I'm redoing this motor, I'm going to make it nice and clean. So you'll make sure nothing rubs. Anything in there turns nice and free. So there we go. I'm going to pull it back off. Check for any kind of rubbing. So alright, we're good. Everything like that. And I don't know else what we need to talk about. It's too damn cold to try to paint it. It's too late. It's probably 1 or something in the morning. Just couldn't go to sleep, so I come out, started playing around. So we'll catch you later, guys. Appreciate you watching, and like and subscribe, share it, and let's see this old motor come back to life and sound nice and quiet. Maybe I'll rip a man a new butthole here after it gets running. So 73s y'all out there, and enjoyed you stopping by. Hey guys, what I've done here a little bit is I put a little bit of engine primer up, 500 degrees down there at O'Reilly's. I almost forgot where I got it. Yeah, I got this from O'Reilly's. Engine primer with ceramic, withstands heats up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, resistant to oil and fluids, good for engine blocks and yakety smackety. So what I did is I gave me a shot right here, paint this area, and I'm going to build a plate, bolt this engine and make me a stand. I got some materials. I got to get to chopping and cutting and drilling and weld up me a stand. I'm going to weld it up fairly high so I can, spray paint it. I really don't know how high I'm going to make it, but get it to where I can get the motor up where I can tape it off and paint it. Alright, it's been about 30 minutes or something, maybe a little longer, but I got my engine stand made. Got me a plate right here, because I already primered and painted the bottom area right there, so all I gotta do is just mount it and get it up there where I can get up, under the bottom and everything like that. I got to tape off my jug, mask it off, a few other places. I got another one of these covers I put on there for painting purposes. These are just for painting purposes. Everything will be cleaned, or everything is kind of already wiped down with the degreaser solvent. So I'll have to put a cover on and tuck this wire in, and I'm going to put that one cover I got. I may take the flywheel off just to tuck this harness in, because that other cover is just not going to allow it, so I can put the flywheel back on after that. But I'm going to put that broken cover on it and go from there. So some of this is just going to kind of stay looking like that. It'll be, I'm just not going to paint all this. I just don't see the need to. I'll just paint around it and behind it a little bit, and it'll look a-okay when it's said and done. But other than that, I'm gonna mask that off, and I'll put me my engine primer on it, and we'll see you in a little bit. Hey guys, look at that. I kind of skipped forward, just got ahead of myself, and I got it primed and I got it painted the Honda Cloud Silver. The paint's still kind of wet. We're gonna let it dry. And one thing is that this replacement side cover kind of has a different color. It's supposed to be Cloud Silver, but I think maybe once the rattle can Cloud Silver dries, it might lighten up. If not, I don't care. I might just repaint this, spray some paint remover on it, clean it up, and paint it to match, so we don't have no, you know, get that glare off of you, or we don't have any issues. But I mean, I'm satisfied with the way it looks for the most part. I'll peel the tape off and put all the shiny chrome covers on and stuff after all that. So I still have to replace all the case bolts with the new ones after it dries. So we're not going to jack it around with doing that. So that's original. Well, I had ordered one off eBay, the points cover. It's got some dings and scratches in it. Wouldn't do no good to sand it out because they're just kind of fairly deep. But for the most part, everything's turned out fairly good, as far as I can tell. I'll replace the head bolts, or the nuts, with nice chrome ones, and get everything set up. And I have to put the oil still in here and the dipstick back in, which I could do that now, but I don't know. I think I may need to, at least to just keep the trash out of the engine, just put the dipstick in, or just order a new dipstick that doesn't look yucky. So anyway, this is just going to go in a rider anyway, but I just couldn't help myself. So anyway, I'm proud of it. May not be my best job, but it's not my worst one. But the Cloud Silver should dry fairly quick, and it's going to really pop and stand out when I pull the tape off the cylinder. I may try that here in a few and change a few things out, and let's get this thing looking like a diamond in a goat's butt. So, and all it's going to do is just go right up there in that old piss yellow, candy yellow special bike. So it's looks like it's got a new engine in it. So, you know, we still got work to do on the front end, but that's another day. So, all in all, closer and closer. And one thing I got is that watching Nitro Circus. But anyway, I found a speedometer, and it was pretty nasty in there. And I don't know. I guess I've had this speedometer for quite a while. The lens was pretty trashed up. It's not broke, but I cleaned it up fairly nice. And of course, you got to peel that back, and it was already peeled back. I don't know if I did it a long time ago or what, but I lubricated everything up, cleaned it up. It's not a silver tag, it's got the jewel in it. So anyway, I got to take a Q-tip, and since I sprayed everything, I got a Q-tip my my numbers, my dials or whatever in there. I got to clean them up. But it'll go back together. It'll be just, I'll probably put that on my gold one, which is a rider. Everything like that. I might need to figure out where I can find some of these boots. Either that or just not worry about them, or I don't know what to do. So maybe just like a piece of cardboard, or I ain't sure how I could remedy that. You know, so that it seats up against the bottom of the red indicator lens for the high beam and seals it off and doesn't let any light get into the illumination of the speedometer. So not going to worry about that too much for the moment. I may have to find another one of these somewhere to put on, but it's not a high priority thing right now. I just got a little lost in translation and found it, and jumped right on it. I didn't know I had it, so it's, you know, kind of a score, I guess, you know. But guys, anyway, another day, another 50 cents. Another few things done to getting this motor back on there and running like a scalded dog. So anyway, I don't know if I'm going to add anything else. I probably may add this on the back of the other few videos, so that way we can just keep trucking along and see what's happening. Guys, just be sure and hit that like button, subscribe, shoot me some comments, and any advice and suggestions. It's you know, if I'm doing something that you don't like, or I should do something a little bit better, that you know, y'all know that I don't, be sure and put that in the comments, and hope to see you in the next segment of this repair. So I think this is probably going to wrap it up for, I believe, segment 5 or part 5. And I'm going to go in the house. Got to go punch the time clock at 7 in the morning, or before, probably about 6:40. So I got to get up before the rooster does. I got to get up and wake him up. So anyway, 73s, all those out there, and I appreciate you stopping by. Catch you on the next one.